A warm wishes to everyone. I am Anusha, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Applications, Sri Krishnaswamy College for Women. In this presentation, I am going to explain about constructors and destructors in C++. So, first we'll see what is a constructor. A constructor is a member function which is used to initialize objects of a class. The name of the constructor and the name of the class will be same. Constructors are used to allocate memory for class objects. It is automatically called when an object is created. Therefore, the important point in this slide is the name of the constructor and the name of the class should be always same. Next, we will see the characteristics of a constructor. A constructor should be always declared in the public section. A constructor has no return type. It is automatically called when the class object is created. A constructor cannot be inherited, although the derived class can call the base class constructor. A constructor can have default arguments like other functions. You cannot refer to the address of a constructor. A constructor cannot be virtual. This is an example for a constructor. In this example, the class name is A as well as the constructor name is also A. Therefore, the class name and the constructor name is same. Next, we will see the types of constructors. Constructors are classified into three types, namely default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. We will discuss one by one. The first constructor is the default constructor. A constructor that accepts no parameters is called as a default constructor. If no constructor is defined, then the compiler supplies a default constructor. This is the syntax representing a default constructor. Here, the class name is student and the constructor name is also student. There are no parameters within the constructor name. Therefore, it is called as a default constructor. This is an example illustrating default constructor. Here, the class name is cube and the constructor name is cube. This constructor has no parameters within it. Therefore, it is an example for default constructor. Next is the parameterized constructor. A constructor that receives arguments is called as a parameterized constructor. Therefore, constructor with parameters are called as parameterized constructor. It executes at the time of object creation. This is the syntax representing parameterized constructor. In this case, the class name is student and the constructor name is also student. It has two parameters, namely A and B. Therefore, it is an example for parameterized constructor. This is an example for parameterized constructor. Here, the class name is cube as well as the constructor name is cube. Within the constructor, we have a single parameter called as x. Therefore, it states the example for parameterized constructor. The third type of constructor is a copy constructor. It is a special type of constructor which takes an object as an argument. Initialization of object through another object is called as a copy constructor. Therefore, copying the values of one object into another object is called as a copy constructor. This is the syntax representing copy constructor. In this case, within the constructor name, we are representing the class name as well as the object name. This is an example stating the copy constructor. Here we have the constructor student and the same student constructor is copied here with the class name and the object name. So next we will move on to the destructors. Destructor is a special class function which destroys the object created by constructor. The destructor is used with the tilde symbol. So this is the syntax for representing a destructor. In this case, A is a destructor which is preceded with a tilde symbol. The rules for destructors are it cannot be overloaded, it cannot take any arguments, and it don't return a value. These are the rules for stating a destructor. This is an example illustrating a destructor. Here we have three A's. First A is the class name A, next is the constructor A, and next is the destructor A. This destructor is represented using tilde symbol. Thank you.